That's what I feel like right now. I feel like a big fat cat. However, even a big fat cat could ride the south if he went slow enough. What do you say, everybody? 14 Guitars here, finally back at Wambaw. Actually went and rode here 2 weeks ago. I rode twice, actually, Tuesday and Thursday, I think. Rode with a fella from Jamaica. Had a nice ride, and unfortunately wasn't able to film either of those 2 trips. Forgive my lisp, as always. I've got in a mouthpiece to protect my expensive permanent retainers after that, all that work on my teeth. Anyway, enough rambling. Been 3 weeks since I put up a video. It's time to get one up again. Today is they finally opened the full south loop, so today is the sight lap really on the north and south loops. Not going to go fast. I'm literally going to just run and have as much fun as I can. Also, running this from Zip Tie Racing, this IMS 3.2 gallon gas tank. Put that in the other day. I don't think I've done anything else new to the bike lately. There is a new pipe that I put in a little while back. The main thing is that, oh yeah, and my new lighting system. So I've got this new lighting system. It's much more compressed. It fits better, reuses real braces. Instead of coming off of bolts on my handlebar bolts, which is what it originally was, I've now got actual mounting hardware on there. Same light, much more clean, much simpler. So it's a nice little system. That's about it. So new light, more importantly, the new gas tank. And today, like I said, is a sight lap. Mainly you'll get an idea of, you know, conditions out here at Wambaw trail conditions. No crazy ride today, nice and easy ride today. No big warm up, right? Because we're just gonna ride. We're gonna let the trail warm up the bike. Oh, I did change one thing. I changed my rebound. I've gone way down on rebound, or way in, way tight. My rebound is now only 4 clicks out on both my fork and on my shock. There's a guy on Comfort Talk. And years ago, he posted, you know, his suspension settings for the YZ, and everybody thought he was crazy because he was doing like 8 clicks out on the forks on compressions, but only 4 clicks out on a rebound. And he was doing that for both the shock and the fork. So I'm trying that today. I don't think I've ever tried it all the way to 4. I've tried it at, I think 7 clicks out. Anyway, I want to give that a try. So one thing that means is, you know, with a brand new setting, I won't be, banging the whoops really quickly. Because at speed, because I don't know how the bike's going to behave, you know, as far as packing goes. Suspension, packing and suspension is when your bike doesn't have time to rebound all the way as you go over whoop-de-doos. So it gets lower and lower in the suspension stroke. And so each time you hit your next whoop, eventually it gets so low that you're bottoming out. And then it's just throwing your booty all over the place. Now, with these settings, I'm not going to see that. But I might see the opposite of, I don't know what I'm going to see actually. I can't remember what happens when you have a very high rebound setting. I think all the way in, I don't know if that means you get a lot of rebound or a little rebound. Yeah, so there's big holes in my suspension knowledge. What I do know is I want to give this a try and see how it feels. I was already running, I believe, like 7 and 7 on the shock, compression and rebound, and 12 and 8 on the fork. I do gotta say, while I am a bit bouncy on these whoops, I do get some really good feedback to my feet on the pegs from the bike. Now, is feedback more important than suspension? You know, we'll find out. The other thing I'm trying out is, I can't remember who I was watching, but they were talking about grip position. And they were saying a big mistake they see are guys running their hands all the way up against the grip stop, and essentially running with their hands square, you know, parallel to the grip. And what this guy recommended was gripping just a little further out and kind of turning your hands inward. So what I mean is like this. Not like this, but like that. Not like that, like that. So essentially running your hands a little more inward. I'm sorry. Not like this, like that. Alright, we're going to go fairly slow. Like I said, I don't know how the bike should behave. Yeah, it's a little bouncy. But pretty well planted for as bouncy as that felt. And with the soft sand, it was a little bit less stable. Conditions are dry, but somehow not terribly dusty. And I don't understand that exactly. Maybe there's a lot of humidity. There was fairly high humidity last night, I know. And maybe that's translated to some, you know, some firm surface moisture on the soil. I don't know. best position on this suspension, but as far as feel to the bike, feels really good. Some really good feedback coming from the pegs. Yeah, feels good. So last week I was up in Cape Hatteras in Buxton. We got an annual surf week with some really cool old friends. The guy I used to work with, then I became friends with his friends, and we surf. We go to Costa Rica or someplace every year, and then they have had a tradition since '93, I believe, of getting a house in Hatteras for a surf week, third weekend in October. So I was able to stay for 4 nights, had a really good time. Cooked 3 racks of ribs on the smoker. Use the Texas 3-2-1 method. You can look that up for ribs, Texas 3-2-1. You just smoke them for an hour. What is it? 3 hours. Smoke them for 3 hours, 220 or so. And then cover them. Put them in the oven for 2 hours. And put barbecue sauce all over them. You smoke them with a rub. Then, in hour 4, you put on barbecue sauce. And you take the tin foil off. You just cook them in the oven at like 240. Get them to dry out and get a little bit of a barbecue sauce rind on there, right? Barbecue sauce rind. And man, those were some good ribs. I had made a New York style cheesecake to go with it. And even though I'm the cook, I have to admit it was one of our better meals. Everybody here is a great cook, so we actually had good food every night. You know, when guys get up above 40s, 50s, 60s, generally they're going to learn to cook. They know how to cook by then. They know how to cook really well. You got some old standbys that everybody loves. For mine, it's cheesecakes, ribs, and pork tenderloin. I mean, it's hard to go wrong. And of course, venison stew. I can cook a venison stew that most people will love, even if they, quote, I don't eat deer meat. Yeah, that was a little bit of a bouncy rear end for me. This guy, up all night, back to suspension. So the user up all night on Thumper Talk. While he does race some trails, his settings are mainly motocross, but he's in Florida. So Florida has a lot of sandy whoopie-doos, which is what we do, right? We have a lot of sandy. Yeah, the dirt's not bad. Anyway, we have a lot of sandy whoopie-doos down here. And so that's why I suspected that his settings may do okay. I was close to them before, like I said. I think I was running 7 rebound on the forks, 7 or 8, and 7 on the shock. I've always found that anywhere between, say, 6 and 10 works good enough, right, for me. I don't demand a lot out of my bike. I'm not that good a rider. But anyway, you know, kind of nice to go to a different extreme. Yeah, see, that was a little bouncy. So you want to keep your front end light in the whoopie-doos. That seems to do well. Seems to handle that just fine. Alright, that was the first way back to the trailhead if you got tired or you got a phone call or you had to go. And you can check my map. I'm guessing, I think it's 5 miles in or 5 miles total when you get back to the truck. I can't remember how they label those. Whether they're labeling, 5 miles to get back, or by the time you get back, you will have gone a total of 5 miles. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm slow today, man. But you know what? I'm gonna live that slow today. I'm gonna go with it. Sorry about the lack of two-stroke scream. But I like to ride it however I feel comfortable. Why when I race, I'm only racing me, and only when I feel like it, right? I get on the bike and I can race me every time. If I'm not feeling it, I'm screwed. Yeah, that all felt really good. Another big test is going to be the road up here. The road that leads to what they call the Whoop Tunnel. The Strava app, several of the loops here, the sections of this loop have names, and I will generally refer to them by their Strava name since that's where I tend to judge my performance. So Ride with GPS is the app that I'm using to track my ride. Sometimes you'll see me put a GIF image of the whole ride using a screenshot of Ride with GPS. But then Ride with GPS sends a copy of the ride, of the GPS information, to Strava. And Strava is where I keep track of all my times and where I like virtually race against other people. So if you hear me say, that was my second fastest time ever, it's generally second fastest time as recorded on Strava. Or if I say like I have the 6th fastest in my age group, quote, in the world, it really means in the little world of Strava where people are posting their results from these trails. Wow. Definitely turned into a slow joyride, that's for sure. But that's what I'm feeling, so that's what we're doing. It's a beautiful day. Look at all the flowers. We got wildflowers blooming. So the trail conditions are dry, but not dusty for some reason. Some remarkable atmospheric condition. Like I said, I think it's just from high humidity or a morning mist. Got the topsoil, the very top, slightly wet. Yours truly, I am in a very relaxed state. My wife's been gone a few days to visit family, so I've been bachelor, staying up late, watching football, etc., having a good old time. Me and my little gray cat, Miss Puff, and October 6th was our 39th wedding anniversary. That was kind of cool. And she was home for it. I think the last 10 years, either she or I have been out of state for both her birthday and our anniversary. Her birthday is also in October. And this year, we're home for both, which is kind of cool. So I'm going to make her a nice steak dinner when she gets home for her birthday. I don't think I've driven this slow on purpose, solo, in 5 years. I am getting used to this white tank up front here. It's a little bit different sight to see. And my knee is a little sore for some reason, my right knee. It might just be from lack of exercise. I've been coming home and laying on the sofa and doing nothing for hours after work, eating and watching TV and, not doing anything, not moving. And I had a pretty quiet week at work, where normally I'm very active at work. I work in my warehouse in North Charleston, where I'm constantly lifting and moving 50-pound bags of salt, that kind of stuff. I haven't been doing any of that for the last 2 weeks. On our surf trip, we didn't actually surf because there was no real surf to speak of. There was a swell, but it was a very low wave period. So even though the waves might be waist high, they were just pounding one after another right on the shore. Bam, bam, bam. So as soon as you stood up, you'd have to just bail. There's no really rideable surf. So I didn't spend any time surfing. So like I said, I got very little exercise last week at all, or this week so far. It is Wednesday, by the way, the 25th, I think, of October. Yeah. Well, one thing about me driving so slow is y'all can actually hear me for a change. My buddy, he hadn't ridden in 2 years, so I had to ride pretty slow. And I actually fell over like 3 times because, your body is used to going a certain speed around these sandy, whoop-de-doo corners and stuff. And when you got to go slower than that, there's all kinds of muscle memory that you haven't used in years, since you got better, good enough to go faster. Or since the last time you rode with somebody that was going fairly slowly compared to what you normally ride. So it can be a challenge. I'm a fan of, if I'm riding with somebody faster, I like them to just go up front, right ahead, wait for me. But he'd never been to these trails before, ever, and it is possible to get lost out here, especially on the connecting roads in between trails. Your first time, you really don't know where to go. Reminds me of this circuit we made. We went to in Costa Rica. Pavones is this beautiful long river mouth wave. It's a long, long, long left-hand wave. And when it's big, you can ride that thing for, I don't know if it's a minute, but a long, long ride on a surfboard. Surfboard ride's usually a few seconds, right? But tens of seconds. And this little girl lived right out front with her parents. And she was out there, and the waves were about waist high, and she just kept looking around going, God, it's so small, these waves are just so terrible. That's kind of how I feel on my riding today. I'm like, man, I'm riding so slow. Maybe that's kind of the way to think of it. So you're at the beach, and the way you feel about riding that day, maybe that's the surf forecast. So my surf forecast for today I'm doing. You know, I'm basically just relaxing on this trail, doing a little sight lap, checking some distance. There's no dust. No real dust to speak of behind me. Last time I rode an Enery, you know, I remember I rode with Bo, a fellow I met at the gate, and turned my head one time and hit a tree. That's when I learned that I haven't had much experience looking behind me. And maybe on these windy trails like this, the best thing to do is stop if you look behind yourself, or get to a place like a turn like we just went through. Tempted to go back to 7 or 8 on my rebound, but I'm going to make myself ride the full trail. I can just tell. Still have enough flexibility. That was new also. So my different front end behavior there. I just might wash a little bit. Keep our eye on it. Back to suspension one more time. So this guy, up all night, people were kind of ridiculing him. Like as I said, they were telling him, you know, these are crazy settings. What's wrong with you? That kind of thing. And then an interesting thing happened. People started trying those settings. And they're like, huh, interesting. Many people started riding with those settings or use them as a baseline. That was something on the forest floor, but it was a shadow cast on the floor. Somebody dumped a deer out here. Please don't do that. There are places to do that. They're not big. But they can surprise you. But that thing just behaved really completely benign over no problem at all. Felt very good. Felt good on this one. Something's in bloom, I guess. Feels really good at these speeds on these little whoops. We're not going that fast. A lot of times I try to go down this thing like 50 or 45. But just feeling it out today. I don't know, positive feedback. Now that was at speed, a little slower windy speed, not quite as good. So what do I got? I've got, I believe I've got 8 compression, 4 rebound on my forks, and then I've got 8 and 4 on my shock, and my high-speed compression, which is, you know, the big hex nut that surrounds the compression setting. I've got that set at 5/16 of a turn, so just a little past a 1/4 inch out. I used to have it a full turnout. Another thing is you get really good traction with this high rebound setting. Up all night from Thumper Talk, when he posted these settings, he was saying that he doesn't get a lot of feedback, a lot of change. Until he gets it around, you know, beyond 6 turns out, it kind of stops making a lot of difference. 6 turns out on fork compression. Now, I definitely can feel, I'm sorry, not fork compression, fork rebound. I haven't experimented enough rebound to know where that point is, where it might depend on the person, right? How well you do certain things. But he's an experienced rider, and this is one of the things he's into. A lot of times, those guys are, you know, some of the best sources of information. And you can try what I've got my settings at. I'll post them on the video. I don't know if it's my new tank, kind of slippery on my knees, but I am getting a little more numbing in my throttle hand than I usually do, and it just might be that I'm not quite holding on as tight with my knees because I'm not getting the traction. But that's 2 squirrels that are really crossing my path. I believe it's rutting time. R-U-T, rut. R-U-T, Romeo Uniform Tango, R-U-T. Breeding season for these squirrels. That makes them kind of crazy. That makes them do crazy stuff, like running in front of your motorcycle. I've been making some sounds lately in my yard, like that, where you just kind of pierce your lips and suck in, almost like a predator call, but it sounds a lot higher frequency than it is in real life on the video. But man, squirrels are running. Check it out. And so that's an interesting thing to be able to do. Call in squirrels without having to carry a squirrel call. This is wildlife photographer, hunters, pest control now. Oh, what a nice, beautiful day for a ride. I'm just enjoying this ride so much. Good. Not crazy good, but good. Remember, it's winter now almost, and soon, try to ride after work, catch the sunset. You're going to ride Wambaw, a good bit of the time you're going to be heading south no matter whether you take the north or south loop. So you might want to get some attention, and you're going to ride in the evenings or even dawn patrols like before work out here. Because the sun gets so low that visibility is really brutal. OHV was kind of weaving through those trees is what I was looking at over there. All right, we're about to hook up a little part of the trail, I think. I don't remember. I thought we were approaching intersection with the trail that we bypassed, right, the trail that would take you right back to camp, right back to the parking lot. But I think I'm a little bit early. Dog out here. I've seen a dog track. It goes a long way. Further than what I would expect for wolves or something. Wolves or coyotes. I'm sorry, there's no wolves here, but for coyotes, right? A coyote track tends to be a straight line, right? They're not wasting time sniffing around. They're either going somewhere or they're on a hunt. That's what we might say. There's a trail. We just connected to the trail intersection. Anyway, a dog is like wandering all over the place. So I wouldn't expect coyotes to spend that much time running the sandy dirt bike trail. They could be in the woods, maybe in a straight line to where we're going. But I can see somebody coming out with a dog, right? A healthy dog. Cruise in their four-wheeler or cruise easy on the motorcycle, the dog run alongside of them and get some exercise. Keep in mind, I didn't get off the bike to make sure it was even canine tracks instead of deer tracks, but they're dog tracks. I've seen enough of them. Right here, so the gate and the print, right, with the dog print. You're not going to see a coyote running this thing for miles with it winding back and forth instead of just going for it. Now, I rested here last time. I'm going to rest here today too. All right, doing well. Riptide tank, everything's good. I'm just going to take a little rest because this is a relaxing ride, not a speed run. I still may do the south, but I may not. I may just do the north and get back to work today, and maybe ride early next week. All right, going off the air for now. All right, everybody. Picked up a couple vines. That's totally normal out here. All right, so where we stopped, crossing this little road, it'll be listed probably on some map somewhere. So we've got 14.5 miles to go, which means all that yapping that I did all that talking in like 4.5 miles. I got to tell you, it felt like I've ridden 10 miles. But this trail is only 19 miles long, so that's not possible. Never started this again either. All right, well, we'll see. We'll see whether it really is 14.5 miles to the truck or not. And then we'll decide if we're going to ride another 20 miles on the South Trail or not. I'm not feeling much today at all. It's so relaxing. And it is true, I stayed up a bit late last night rewatching Monday Night Football and some motocross and having a Kramer night. Anybody that's familiar with Seinfeld might remember Kramer hangs out at Jerry's, I think for 2 days, and he has, when Jerry leaves, he's on the sofa. When Jerry comes back, he's on the sofa, and his glass is not on a coaster. And he's like, oh gosh, Kramer puts a glass on the coaster. Unbeknown to Jerry, the whole time he's been gone, Kramer has been partying every night, having hundreds of people over, rearranging the furniture, pretending he's a comedian, just going crazy for the whole 2 days. So, like I said, my wife's been gone. I haven't been doing Kramer as far as people, but I've been staying up late. You know, I've been messing with my camping gear. I've been, you know, working on my dirt bike. I've just been having a good old time. Doing stuff. And staying up late. Good, doesn't it? Sound you haven't heard on this ride. I really got to put the winter jetting back in it, I think. I don't think I've switched back to my full winter jetting yet. Although, what passes for winter here, right, is like, it's 68 degrees right now. In late October. That's I don't think we have a single month that averages below 50. Maybe January or February are in the 40s. I don't know. But anyway, we really don't have much of a winter here. Not much of a winter. I did order some graphics to put on this tank. I ordered 2000. I think I ordered 2006. Whatever's on my other tank, whatever's on my my current side panels. I like that it has the Gitter logo and the Yamaha, look the way the Yamaha logo is and all that. What he meant up all night, what he meant by as far as getting so much more positive feedback, so much more feel on the pegs or your rear tire. You get a good feel. so they burned. Okay, they've done a controlled burn in the woods. We manage our forest here in the south, and one thing it does, it prevents rampant fires from coming and burning up our homes. It's also good for wildlife to periodically burn the woods. You know, the Native Americans knew. There's tons of evidence going back thousands of years of controlled burns all over the world. Here, Australia. I mean, in Australia, they literally burnt hundreds of millions of acres over the centuries. The original people there knew that it was good for game for them. Maybe they were chasing game by burning them out of the woods originally, but they realized that it puts nutrients back into the soil, it prevents uncontrolled wildfires, and it's very, very good for animals, for habitat. So we burn here. One of the nice things about it here in Wambaw is a burn area is, you know, almost feels like you've gone somewhere else, right? Like you've traveled to some new location. And that's a lot of fun. Now switch it up. Yeah, so this is so recent. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm just smelling, maybe the moist air is putting the smell into the air of the burn, or there's a burn somewhere else close by. You know, you can see that this was burned, but I think this was about a year ago. This has grown back a lot. Y'all see that little red stone right there? The reason it's red, Chris definitely came out here and worked hard to mark it. Like so many other obstacles, they come out and mark what's here. Hardest working people. Incredible. Chris definitely were hosts at the trailhead, OHV trailhead, for a year and a half or so. And they remain. There's the other trail we just hit the intersection. Anyway, they remain super active in monitoring and maintaining these trails. If you get a chance, I'll put a link. They've got a GoFundMe set up. All they're asking for is funding for equipment, so they can come out here for free and groom the trail. Anybody that rides out here benefits from them, and if you do have a little bit, you got $1 to spare, $100 to spare, or Rich Daddy with $1,000 to spare. Let's get them their equipment, because you'll certainly get your money's worth out of that donation. Going to a super good cause, super good people, trust, and are passionate about our trails. They ride every day. They live right down the road. They, you know, sold everything to move here. They ride the trail. Constantly fixing them up. And they don't volunteer here alone. They volunteer in Ennery and Manchester. I believe Manchester. Definitely Ennery. Battery Creek. And they are one of those couples, right? Industry couples. They're just part of the heart and soul of our industry. part of this North Trail. This little section right here.
conditions, gotta say. Surprisingly good conditions on the dust, as far as dust goes. Not a lot of dust. All right, let's take a short break, drink some water, and then we'll ride the south. Listen to that baby purr.
All right, so we used, it was about here, not that mark, but right here. We used about 3 fingers of gas. Whew. All right, we'll sign out for just a moment. Drink a little water, cool down, then we'll hit the south. Big, fat, old male cat. It's been fixed. He's 8 or 10 years old. And he just likes to lay on his back in the sun, or lay on the sofa, or lay on your keyboard. That's what I feel like right now. I feel like a big fat cat. However, even a big fat cat could ride the south if he went slow enough. And that's what I'm going to do. Nice and slow. Enjoy the ride. Give you all a sight lap. I haven't been on full south in many months because, you know, it was closed because it was so wet. You could only make it to the intermediate. So anyway, we'll see. Let's check out the conditions. Let's roll. I went ahead and got my head wet again in my upper body armor. Unless it's really cold, I like to soak my hair and my upper body armor in water right before I hit the trail. Stay nice and cool. Your body's cool, your body's efficient. You get really hot. You'll notice in summer, your heart rate for the same conditions will be much higher. Part of what your blood is doing is circulating to try to cool you off. So you can cool your body and keep it cool. Snake, little black racer right there on the trail. Difference I think I'm seeing is with the rebound set, I can accelerate down the backside of a wood more reliably sooner, right? It gets the back tire gets on the ground a little sooner. Totally different bike, sort of. I finally gave up on my Fox gloves. I switched over to Fly, but the Fox, they wear out so quickly. I do have a very slight blister on my thumb, right where this black patch is. The black patch right there on my glove. Probably tells me I need to
turn my hand outward slightly, get my thumb off of that screw stop. That's usually the limiting factor on my suspension out here anyway, right? You can do a lot of compromising just by setting your sag, but my valving and my sinker settings, they have to work on the whoops if I'm going to go over 30 miles an hour. I don't have a choice there. It's a disaster if they don't work right. You get packing or you bounce. The rear end starts switching up on you. Sand on the south than the north, so it's a little sloppier, but still relatively low dust from what I can tell. To me, like it usually is. Like I tell everybody, if you don't ride for a few days, get out and ride, get out and watch video of yourself or somebody else riding these trails, and it'll plant some images in your brain that will help you anticipate conditions on your actual ride. Visualization, just like the athletes do in the Olympics. They visualize. And then you can even watch a section and then close your eyes and visualize hitting that section. And
it is a form of practice, and you will get very statistically significant practice out of just doing that if you can't actually go and ride that day. I notice when I'm riding like south over and over and editing videos, since I watch so many, watch the videos so many times, see how I rode down the backside of that and accelerated? That was it, and that got my front end back in the air. Yeah, that's confidence inspiring. Even though it's so crazy, it's confidence inspiring because I can feel that I'm able to get my rear end back on the ground, my rear tire, to give me another tool to ride those whoop-de-doos other than just blasting through them, right? I can accelerate in sections that feel a little bit, or start to swap out. I feel like I can just hit the gas, correct that swapping out. Because as soon as I hit the gas, the rebound's already got me back on the ground. It means that my throttle, right, is more of a controller than just a suggestion. From this is that afterglow that you get from riding. I don't know if it's dopamine while you're riding because of the thrill, and then endorphins afterwards because of the exertion. But whatever you call it, we just call it fun, right? We just call it fun. It is deer season, and they have been having some dog hunts here on the trail. They shut down the trail usually on a Saturday or a Sunday, or both days on a weekend. It's just a few times a year, and they run deer with dogs, which is a very old, ancient tradition here, right? It's as old as the people. Early settlers
Probably the Native Americans probably use their dogs to help them run deer. I'm not sure if that would work for the way they did hunting. But anyway, it's a tradition here in the South to run deer with dogs. And what happens is the dogs just chase the deer. And the deer come running down the road, and generally will station people at a certain location. And if a deer happens to run by, and if it's a deer that you have a license to take, then you can try to shoot that deer. Often they'll use shotguns instead of rifles. Yeah, what's happening today is just a really weird time dilation. Everything seems to be taking longer than reality. This section is very early. You can check the mileage, but it's not that far mileage in. It feels like I've been riding for a while. But really, this is just the beginning of the trail. That baby bug. Love the heck out of this wood beast. Did I mention I love this bike? Oh, I love this bike. Oh my gosh, I love this dirt bike. Alright, so that's the way back. 5 miles of trail, and this is 15 more miles to go. Essentially, about, right, 19 miles. So this hasn't been ridden much at all because it was closed until I believe the 13th of October because of rain. Closed like since September, so you see all the pine needles. When you see this much pine needles on this trail, you know people haven't been riding it for very long, a couple of weeks. Of course, in the middle of winter, the trail looks a lot more old and deserted, just because a lot less people ride in general. I like to ride no matter what. Like I said, what passes for winter here is always a good day to ride. Plenty warm to ride. I don't even get to wear a jersey, but maybe a few times a year. Well, a few times a year I'll wear a jersey. I usually just wear my armor and my OHV jacket underneath. This is a schoolhouse, kind of overgrown, deserted looking. Now we're on the 2-track right now. This is since we hit that bridge back there. This is two-way traffic. But of course, there's no one else in the parking lot. I'm probably pretty safe. But most of the time I would have my light on by now. When I ride two-way trail, I like to turn on my light. I guess if I were going to characterize this suspension, how it makes me feel, I would say it feels really planted all the time. The rear end feels very planted. And that's a reassuring feeling. Felt like my ignition or
with a trailer on it and a tire track. Keep an eye out. We got adventure riders that'll come out here and ride this on their 1100s and their KTM 800s, 600s. Kind of cool. These guys come out and brave these conditions. I mean, they are adventure bikes. Supposed to be able to ride them on trails, right? That takes some skill. I got respect for those guys. I had a guy at Manchester meet me coming the other direction on a one-way trail because he's gotten about a mile in and realized that Manchester was just ridiculous to try to ride on an adventure bike. Manchester State Forest near Santee. It's got 3 trails, 2 mile, 8 mile, and a 9 mile. But they're all whoop-de-doos and they're all sand. Fantastic track to work out on. Great track to ride whoop-de-doos on. Get used to that. I would say it's a terrible track to ride, a terrible set of trails to ride an adventure bike on. Yeah, this guy looks like a pretty good tire too. I can't really tell. It's a little bigger than a standard dirt bike tire. Look how he's tearing up the... Oh, look at the ground here, how the ground is fairly moist. So, moist ground is good condition. You can't see it because of the whoops, but there's, I mean, because of the pine needles. There's tons of little hard-edged whoop-de-doos out here. Not great. Not like when it's really freshly groomed. You can fly through here. Just watch you little hard-edged whoops. Kind of hide you. Getting a little lazy. Nice up in the corner. Man, boy. Definitely a rougher ride. Rebound set like it is. I sit a lot. Standing, it feels incredible. Sitting, it's a rough ride. Which might be why I had a version of this with a little softer rebound. I recently saw a guy that had settings recommended at only turning all the way out and going in like compression 2 and rebound 1. Now to me that's insane. But I haven't tried it. I have tried fairly soft, like 17 out. That's pretty darn soft. And the more I turned it in, the better it felt. But I wasn't all the way out at 2. Maybe there's something bad about going to soft spot. I don't know. Didn't make any sense at all to me. But I still may try it. I hate to judge. I hate
hate to judge. I am talking about it. So I hate to judge without trying. Yeah, you can see it has been very wet back here. When it's black like this, real dark, means it's sat. You know, standing water, and it was long enough for the silt to settle out of the standing water and darken the surface. Probably multiple rains, multiple times the water drained onto the the noise on my camera of my head bouncing up and down from these little high-speed whoop impacts. Cramps tonight, probably. I can feel myself really holding on to my thighs. And if I go without riding for a while, there's a lot of work on a trail where you gotta hold on with your thighs. I don't know, as I've gotten older, for some reason I get cramps. And man, a thigh cramp is a completely different animal than, say, a Charlie horse or a foot cramp or a cramp in your hand or your calf. It is intensely painful. The thigh is a powerful muscle. The hamstring, that thing tightens up. Oh my God. I would love to catch this guy. I'm gonna have to do a little more standing. don't know why I'm quiet. I am winded. I am winded. Bike's obviously running a little funky, right? Alright, we're back on the two-way. So we get to the whoop-de-doo. Have to tweak the bridge. And then after the bridge, my plug is going bad. Two-way traffic. Yeah, so what's on my mind now is that how that acceleration felt. You can feel it like suddenly kick in. Kind of running like a little bit of a dog, and then really hitting hard. So maybe my TPS on the carb is going out. All right, so that's all it's turning. So single direction for a little while here. And then on the whoop-de-doos, parts of the whoop-de-doos, it's also two-way. Not all of it, but parts of it. I bet you YZ Doc will know exactly what's happening with my bike. How, you know, it goes from feeling a little sluggish to suddenly getting all kinds of power. I think something is in my head. My helmet. Something's in my helmet crawling in my ear, y'all. So I'll turn you off for a second. All right, I don't know what that was. Something was crawling in my ear. It couldn't get in my ear because I wear those padded earplugs, those foam earplugs. But it was tickling my ear, so. It's about this time of year when I saw a bear down here one year. And then the host found the track. The track was like this big. This big is pretty cool, maybe 4.5 inches wide. Front paw, pretty cool. So maybe a 5.5 foot bear.
Sounds good to me. Something was definitely happening. All right, so now either that or that was a bypass trail. Maybe on one of those trails that will take you back to the parking lot early. Yeah, that's probably it, yeah. If you're gonna come back early. Where I made a right on the way in, I could have gone straight and it said 5 miles. I went right and it said 15, and I was trying to figure out how 5 and 15 could equal 19 instead of 20. Anyway, that trail must merge with this trail on the way in. That little return. That little 5-mile return trail. Alright. Bike still feels great. Obviously this guy is... I'm seeing tracks, but I guess they could be congested there. kick that rear end. Just slide that thing around. Driving. I'm sorry I can't talk. I'm having so much fun. I can't put into words what's happening. So what I'm trying to say is I love just sliding around the corner, hitting the gas, and getting that rear end slid around or slid back down the hill as you slide around the sandy corner. Right, so your rear end has a couple of choices when you go around a corner. It can follow the corner, it can go higher than the front tire, or it can slide down inside of the turn. And sometimes I do that on purpose. If I'm going slow, fairly slow, rounding a corner, I might hit enough gas to slide my rear tire down lower in the turn than my front tire. As a way of straightening out the corner. And that way I'll come out of the corner more lined up with the trail. And it just feels fun. It's an interesting feeling to feel that tire slide down below you as you're rounding that corner. It's just a really cool feeling. How useful it is, how good a form that is, I don't know. I don't really care. I'm not racing. It seems fairly safe to me, and I love the way it feels. So, you know, second kind of cool is cool enough. First kind of cool might be, you know, super useful or looks really good. The second kind of cool might be, I just like the way that feels. All right, we're back with two-way traffic. So, I gotta give my attention to this road below my paranoia. Yeah, it definitely locks up. That rear wheel really digs in on the downside of the loop tube in a way that it doesn't normally do it. Alright, now that was a little froggy there. Felt like I was getting slightly sideways. I don't know if I like that better or not. Remember guys, there's some pretty big ones right when you come on here. Be ready. Heart rate through the roof there. It's all legs. Lots of leg action. So a lot of oxygen required. Conditions are still great. Sandy but not dusty. corner where we just turned in, I had one of the best experiences of my riding life there. Some kids who subscribed to my videos were parked there on one of my, it's on one of my videos too. They were parked there, and I stopped to say hi, and one was like, man, I subscribed to your videos, man. I was like, this is cool. He was so excited, he was into riding, he was stoked. He really liked to ride. Almost blew right through that corner.